Aries, though, being your ascendant, means that you kind of think you're right all the time.
Okay.
And if anyone, like the little side eye there, that camera catch that.
We'll talk about this at home.
Yeah. And Aries are like natural aggressors. Like if you get angry, like all hell will break loose, and you don't want to be told no. You don't want to be told that like you need to wait. You don't want to be told it's not going to happen. So like managing that is going to be your ego work.
Fine.
Yeah. So like being able to know that like it doesn't have to go to plan and it doesn't have to be perfect, and other people mean well when it comes to critiquing you.
Yeah.
Like, but that all happens internally.
I'm just stay hydrated. First thing in the morning, tired and yawning. What you gonna do?
We're here with Ryan Lanji, everybody.
Hi everyone and my fans.
How are we? Well, you didn't want to be. Firstly, you didn't want to be here.
No, it's just what I say in order to like break the ice.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm late. I didn't want to come.
Yes.
That's a good one, actually. I like that as an icebreaker.
Yeah.
Well, I'm lucky that I grew up in the 90s, so it was like the dawn of all the t-shirts that had weird sayings on them. And like the one that I always remember, which I never am allowed to say, is "Trust me, I'm a gynecologist." So like those kind of t-shirts at shops called like Randy River and like Hot Topic in America.
Oh yeah, Hot Topic.
So I just have them like a Rolodex and I just say them randomly. Thank God that's the one that came out this morning.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a good one.
Yeah.
It wasn't like FBI female body inspector. that could have been a good one.
Yeah.
Oh my God, did I buy that? Yeah, I guess now hanging out in Camden as well, like the t-shirts. Trust me, I'm a lesbian.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I remember also, do you remember those t-shirts that came out maybe 2007 to maybe 12 or something? And it was around the Glee time. Mm-hmm. So they all just had like geek and like nerd, and like loser.
Yeah, I fell to that trend.
That was.
Did you? Which one were you?
Only once, but I think I did have a geek T-shirt.
Okay.
It was just a Top Shop. I don't want to talk about it.
But are you trying to throw people off your scent, or are you just trying to just be really honest and upfront?
I don't know, because like at the time I like wasn't a geek. Like, do you know what I imagine? Like a geek's like someone who's like hardworking in school, and like I was just like not. Like, do you know what I mean? It just
were they sold out of Poser?
Yeah, honestly, it was just a fucking lie, Ryan. Is what it was. Like,
You take a minute.
I know. I'm not sure. I don't know why I'm boiling up.
Whoa, the emotional recall right now.
Sorry,
I wasn't a geek.
Am I
just was
paying
living
you
a
for
fake
therapy? Or
life.
you paid me for therapy?
I know. Honestly, I just wasn't living my truth, but now I am. You know?
Yeah.
I feel like Glee came and was making everybody like reclaim or like be bold about being a geek. Even if
It
people weren't
repositioned
really
our
geeks.
relationship to high school, didn't it? But I have to tell you, I never saw it. I haven't seen a single
Really?
episode of Glee.
That's fair.
But then everyone's like, Ryan Murphy. And I'm like, that's my name. I don't own the airline or that show.
Right. I think you could. No, I think you shouldn't watch it. I think you should just leave it where it is. I mean, it's like it's the worst best thing in the whole world. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. I feel weird as someone who chronically suffers from ADHD and just living in my own little Narnia, that like I mash up things anyways. Like if you get me on the dance floor, I'm like dancing to Beyonce but singing Bollywood lyrics in my head. So like I'm like Valentina Delulu, but then the situation occurs that like when you see something that's actually as crazy as your mind, you almost spontaneously combust.
Right.
So when I tried to dip in and saw Let's Have a Kiki with Sarah Jessica Parker and all these little white kids,
Tough
I was
first
like,
episode.
what is happening?
Yeah.
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 There was some real fever dream episodes.
There was some. What I will say is they do have some like incredible mashups,
Incredible mashups, yeah.
like songs wise.
Thriller Head to Roll is a pretty good one.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, fine. Yeah, that was, I do remember seeing that in a clip before the days of TikTok.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Before the days of TikTok, whoa.
Yeah, I know. I'm actually quite young.
Actually very young.
Period.
A great before time. We were also talking just before we went live about your love for Jurassic Park.
Yeah.
Yeah, favorite movie?
Yes, it kind of is like the underpinning of everything I do. And it's
Okay.
weird because I don't work with dinosaurs and I don't work in a theme park.
Yet.
So like
Yet.
Lanji Park.
Yeah.
No, I saw it in cinemas when I was 5. I remember being like 4 years old and my parents were like, you need to read the newspaper to learn English. it's weird because I was born in Canada. We already knew English, but like I guess they wanted me to be well read and articulate. And I just flipped the page and saw this massive skeleton of a dinosaur, and it said 65 million years in the making, must see in cinema experience. And I like dragged my whole family there at 5. Had a lot of power back then. And literally just saw it and just fell in love with it. And ever since then have based every single feeling that I ever want to achieve in my career in that similar to that one moment of just watching that movie in cinemas.
Wow.
Whoa.
Just like from the awe of it, the inspiration of it. Yeah.
The fact that it like, at that age, I knew that it was a movie and it wasn't real, but didn't know how they did it. Right. And so as a kid, my mom would buy me the toys. I was very demanding at Toys R Us. And I would just take the toys and watch the movie and recreate each shot. So I'd figure out how the T-Rex must have been by the car window in order to break the glass. And then I would start doing research on like how they made it. And then I started to get this like huge affinity with filmmaking. And then when I went to film school in Canada, I dropped out because my parents found out I was queer. But that's a story for the next chapter.
Yeah.
I basically was like, I love this, but I just love producing an experience. So it kind of moved me into curation and like events and production, because like I want people to walk into situations and be like, wow, that's amazing. I can't believe you did that with this place.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's naturally turned into party planning.
Yeah.
But really at the end of the day, reduce it all down to dinosaurs.
That's incredible.
So cool.
That's also so cool that you can really pinpoint the big bang of your like creative journey.
I love what you did with the meteorite reference there.
Exactly.
To Dinosaurs, to Jurassic Park, to Ryan Lanji.
You know?
Yeah, Drag Race.
Exactly.
All makes sense. There's a through line to everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Always. I actually had a question that I was like kind of like formulating on the way here, and that was going to be like, when did like this version of Ryan come into like existence? Like, and I feel you can trace it all the way back to the dinosaurs.
It's interesting because I think now we as queer people are like told to be our authentic selves, and we have to almost mourn who we are and then go through another adolescence. Because when you're young, you have your dreams and you dream big, but then you subconsciously just start seeing other people existing in society and you start to mold yourself to be palpable.
Yeah.
And then, and so you're like, okay, I'll be masculine. Okay, I'll pretend I like this, or I'll go to a gay club and love this music. And then once you have the audacity to be like, actually, that's not me. I do not identify with this. And then you start to re-identify who you are. You get to relive that youth. And so I actually just put a whole pin in Jurassic Park. Like I didn't even think about it. I was just in London doing my thing, and it wasn't until I had a heartbreak and didn't know what I was doing that I turned the movie on. I found out they were making new ones, and the love just came back. And then I was like, I like this feeling. I don't ever want to lose it. So I just let it become a part of my identity. And like at 5 years old, I was watching Jurassic Park in cinema saying, one day I want to be a part of this world, having no love for dinosaurs. And this year I was at the world premiere for Jurassic World Rebirth. So I just feel like if you just stay in your power, that is your truth, it'll get you where you want to go.
The idea of sort of like, I've got to almost phoenix in the ashes to kind of figure out who I really am. Do you think it is about like, I like this feeling, I want it to stay, or I like how it feels when I look at myself and I'm wearing this in the mirror? Do you know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah,
does anyone?
I think for me, being this young, I had to do a lot of my exploration without the internet.
Right.
Like I moved to London, and it was the iPhone 3. Twitter was the biggest platform, and Facebook Messenger was like really of the moment. Like there was no WhatsApp, there was no Google Maps, there wasn't anything like that. Like you had to physically go out and explore and find information, and then with that, like find yourself looking at magazines and print media in order to find other things that reminded you or echoed those things that you like. Right. So I used to sit in like art bookshops and like go through London magazines and take pictures of things I liked and then go on Twitter and find those people. And that's how I started to create this like spider web of creativity and culture. Right. And then nowadays you literally just go on Instagram or TikTok and then see who's following who, and then you just follow them, and everyone's posting about the same thing. As soon as it goes viral, it's something that we all know, and it's like social consciousness. But back then, like you really had to care deeply about culture in order to be a part of it. Yeah. So like that's where I feel like a lot of it was me just trying to be a part of culture. And then there came a turning point where I was like, actually, what is my culture? How do I identify? What do I want to push into that realm?
Yeah. And then as soon as you start rebelling or pushing back on where you've been falling in line, or where you've been fitting yourself into a mold. As soon as you start to push against those boundaries, there's almost like there's this like infinite space where you can keep changing, keep molding, keep going more out there or more experimental, and then coming back again, and it can be very liberating.
Totally. And I see that in both of you as well, because like I've known you before, like your TikTok era, and just because of the fitness realms that you were in, and like to see you step into your power of just like comedy and utilizing the resources we have around us and seeing how successful it's been, and then bringing you two into the picture. Like what we've done is turned our joy into its own currency. And so once you do it, everyone's like, yeah, that's great. And we all agree collectively as a community that we start to push it forward. And then the brands and all these things have to pause and change their ways to bring you in, which is actually like a reverse sort of psychology and a reversal of power.
Yeah.
Which I think is really cool.
Yeah, definitely.
So I've been around for ages and everyone's always like, what do you do? And like, I just never explain myself, just like Kate Moss. I never complain. And I found myself eventually becoming palpable. Like people are like, oh yeah, Ryan does this, 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 and this. But 10 years ago, they were like, well, you have to call yourself one thing. You can't you can't be a curator and a TV presenter and a party planner and DJ and a club promoter. You can't be all of those things. It's not possible.
Right.
But now they're like, Swiss Army knife, Lanji, and I roll in. And so like you just, that is just who I am. And like, I think that the infinite possibilities live in there. Because I never wanted to tell anyone where the walls are or the ceilings were. It just wasn't a part of my vernacular.
Watch me. Watch me and I'll do it. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's a part of who I am inherently. Like I am Canadian, British, Hindu, Punjabi, speak English, understand Hindi and Punjabi and French because I'm Canadian. Like I've been intersectional since day dot. And like I didn't come here to tell everyone I'm British. I came here to tell everyone that I know a lot of these things and I respect all of them equally.
Yeah.
And so I just feel like that just overflows into my career.
I think it's something that, again, as soon as you allow yourself to be able to connect with different things and put your passion into lots of things, then you kind of go like, oh, well, then I could also do that. I can also do that.
Yeah.
As soon as you like open the floodgates, you're like, oh yeah, let's give that a try and let's give that a try.
Totally. I think the key as well that I tell to anyone who like asks how to get to a position that I'm in, which I feel very blessed because I still don't know what I'm doing, is that London and big cities won't let you do what you want to do. They'll only let you do what you're good at. So like this is a very experimental laboratory. Here you can do whatever you want. Like we have, people who studied shoe design turn into world famous makeup artists. We had like forensic scientists turn into nail artists. Like these are the kind of people I work with where their brain can understand a subject, but their creativity channels in a completely different way. And so like as soon as you find your flow and you get into that lane, London will applaud it and will let you do it. Like everyone here will be like, that's amazing. We want you to do that. And so I just think that we should celebrate those things more rather than just make it feel like people won the lottery about it. Like instead of being like, oh, you accidentally went viral or like it just happened to go big. It's like, no, they actually sat with themselves and they didn't think about anyone or let anyone critique them. And they just operated from an original place of creativity. And so we should all just be like, wicked, go do that for yourself.
Yeah. Do you think that London is the most creative city or the most like vibrant city to create something or get inspired by?
I think metropolitan cities are really important to be in if you want to create change in visual culture, art, music, and fashion. But I think it's important to realize that like there are other cities that are rivaling it because they're more experimental and they're willing to take higher risks. Like, for example, if you want to be really rich and just be around luxury brands, go to Dubai and hang out with the PR marketing teams there. But if you want to be somewhere subcultural, I think like Paris, London, or New York. I think if you want to be in fashion, like fashion currently right now is actually really popping in Berlin and Copenhagen. Like, I think you just really need to listen to like where the beating heart of that subject or that industry is, and then not be scared to go there and ride the wave when it hits. I think in London, like no matter what you do, you'll always end up in London. Something will happen in London and New York and maybe LA. So I just don't think like you should worry too much about where to position yourself. But I do think that London is very open. the last couple of years, I think everyone's really concerned with being like inclusive and diverse, whether it be about queer people or people of color or just like classism and making sure that everyone is invited and included, even accessibility stuff, disabilities as well. But I think we're now getting to a place where we're not telling people how to get it right all the time. So now they're actually just making culture, which is cool because it's done well. Okay. And so hopefully we're at like a new frontier where like we can actually start seeing cool stuff again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you hope to see in the next couple of years, like, near future culturally?
Culturally, I'd like to see big brands and cool projects happening outside of London in more smaller regional places because there's a lot of talent that lives outside London and they can't afford to live here. I think it's super important. I also think it's really key for brands to, not necessarily brands, but just projects to exist that are bridging the gap between commercial culture and subculture, because I think we as queer people like always like to call people up being like, that came from the Vogue ballroom scene, or like that's cultural appropriation, or that's like this all started with a trans black person, and like we were very much like that. But I think that is important that we note this. But instead of getting angry, we should create situations where we can educate and we can educate allies, educate straight people, educate heteronormative people, and like let them learn without making them feel like they're being defensive. And so I find this really powerful in the gym setting. So like instead of like hosting spaces for just trans people or just people of color or just queer people, we need to integrate as much as possible and let them learn through proximity, because then they'll change. Let them mess up their pronouns. Let them have an event where they accidentally don't make the toilets gender neutral, and like we will welcome them and help them grow. And then through that, you can make them feel more positive, and then the ripple effect is exponential.
Yeah, there's definitely, I think, there's so much value in, like being loud and shouting from the rooftops and saying this is, the right thing to do for change, and listen to this and learn like in a loud sense. But a lot of the time you can really connect with someone with a little bit more empathy, sort of softer empathy and like, and then explanation. And then as you say, like not creating more unity and creating more shared spaces as much as possible.
Yeah, I think it's so important. It's like, it should be the underpinning of everything we do. Community has a completely different meaning now. I think we got confused with this whole influencer culture where like we started looking at people who were successful and getting things and being invited to places. But now, to be honest, like you're just watching a whole bunch of TikTokers at film premieres trying to tell us to go back to the cinema. And it's like, is that really exciting? Do we really need to have someone tell us like what we should be putting on our skin when we know it's all bad for us anyways? Just drink a lot of water and just eat a better diet. Rather, I keep yelling at people going, don't worry about your pores, worry about the poor.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And so like, I just think that all of those veneers are just falling down now, and those like veils are going away, and we're like, okay, cool. They're just another group of people who learn to make money or be the center of attention. But at the end of the day, we need to pay attention to where the world is currently.
Yeah.
I saw this thing the other day that was like, let me make sure I get it right. We've paid for convenience with community. So basically like, we have self-checkouts at everything, which is like way more convenient. You don't have to speak to someone, but you actually lose the community of seeing the same person 3 times a week who goes, "You all right?"
Yeah.
And it's just like these little things.
Oh my God, you're giving me like a mind job. You're so right.
Yeah, well, it's like, it is crazy though I literally said to my friend the other day, she was like, do you want to come to this thing with me? And I was like, no. Then I was like, oh, actually, I am trying to build community. And she was like, what the fuck? And I was like, no, but like, because I think I like got sober 2 years ago, and I think I was like, I need to protect my peace, which is so important, and like setting strict boundaries.
Congratulations.
And then you sort of turn around and you're like, oh, I've protected my peace maybe a little bit too hard. And then you do just like, I don't know. I think
you self-isolate to preserve yourself, but then you become agoraphobic. And like, then you're like, I just don't know how to connect with people. But then you realize that as you have to put yourself in these situations where you're interacting so you don't lose the skill set of being social.
Yeah.
So socializing is one of the most important things that we can do. This is why very fundamental changes have occurred in sound system culture. Like raves create political change, or like coming together and deciding that we're all the same. Riots, protests, like gatherings, like these are all things that are inherently a part of our DNA.
Yeah.
And we have to do it. And I don't think that it should only happen when there's crisis. I think it should happen when we need to develop our identities and who we are. That's why 5 or 10 years ago before COVID, like it was so cool to see these queer POC parties like Hungama, which I run, Pussy Palace, Inferno, all of these subcultural parties have their own movements.
Yeah.
And then unfortunately COVID happened and all the parties stopped. But now we all know who we are. And now we can all DJ each other's parties. And now we can all DJ festivals together because we all had moments to like, I guess like mourn the fact that it was so difficult for so long to like cosplay as a white person all the time. But now we're like, no, we know what our sound is. And like Hungama's like playing Glastonbury, and now it's playing like around the world. We've been invited to India again this year. It's like, it's amazing to see that like we needed to go through that in order to figure out who we were definitely going to be and not going to sacrifice. And then, but like, we can't isolate ourselves away. I don't want to listen to Bollywood music all the time, but I want to play Bollywood music for you.
Yeah.
And so like, you're right. The same goes back to the exact same point where like you need to have community that is about allowing ourselves to feel safe and connected to everyone in the room, regardless of where they are in their life. It shouldn't be like we're all here and we all have to do this, or we all have to, I guess, code switch a certain way.
Just for everyone listening, the batteries ran out on the camera, so we had a little jump. And now we're talking about astrology because Ryan, we were saying how good a communicator Ryan is. Ryan was saying that based on his astrology.
Oh yeah, so
you have booked your work on phases of the moon where your sign or your sign will have the most productivity. Pretty much.
Yes. Next week we're going to move on to shapes and colors.
Yeah.
Good for you.
Right?
Yes.
That was so funny.
Why?
No, we got really serious. And then I was like, trying to talk about how my career has, I integrate community and sort of like activism in everything that I do.
Yeah.
But then ultimately where I find my power is the moon cycles. And so like during my breakdown, which I think was like most of my life, but like this, I'd say let's call it from 2021 to 23, where everything was shifting and I couldn't hold all the power coming towards me. Like I'd won a Netflix show during COVID, and then I found myself in all these arenas of reality television, and like everyone's calling me an influencer, but I'm not a fucking influencer. I'm a cultural figure. I basically had to find my power, and I was going through a lot of like internal angst and issues trying to process things. And so I noticed that every time I had a breakdown, the moon was like really big. And my friends were like, oh, you always get like this during a full moon. And I was like, wow, I should actually monitor my thoughts during the moon cycles, because it's like a 12-day cycle, isn't it?
Right.
And I thought it was really interesting that we're chatting today in Leo season during Mercury retrograde on a new moon. And so we're all acting as our moon signs right now.
Right.
So all of my passion right now is actually emotional. My empathy is huge at the moment. And so if you were to talk to me like in 12 days, I'd probably be a bit more focused on just selling myself to you.
Right.
Yeah.
And so the 12-day cycle so when it's a full moon, you're more emotional, more...
Well, it depends on what your rising and your ascendant sign is your rising, and then your moon sign, and then your actual sign. So you'll always be your actual sign. That's how people will see you. So I'm a Leo, and like I'm seen as this like entertainer, like a bit of a showman. That's why a lot of people think I'm quite arrogant or egocentric. It's just because I'm fierce, and I'm not going to argue that with anyone.
Right.
But then I have a Virgo rising, so I'm very much Beyonce inside my head, and so like I'm hypercritical, like don't like things to go wrong, very efficient. I know exactly what I want. The vision's already there. We just need to all get on the same page. But then I have a moon sign that's Pisces. Pisces loves music. Pisces loves people. I like to chill and rest, like creature comforts. And I'm super intuitive and connected. But that only comes around every 12 days.
Interesting.
Right.
Yeah. What are you?
I'm Aquarius, Aries, Leo.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. That's like putting like a firework in a glass jar. Yeah.
So Aquarius is like kind of creative and a bit like...
Well, Aquarius and Leo are like opposites on the zodiac. So basically, everything I am, you're probably very interested in, and we make a really good pair actually.
Yeah.
Aquarius are hyper intelligent. They find themselves to be like a bit like alien, where like they don't feel like they're in their body, and they don't really need people, but they are interested in people as like an observational thing.
Yeah.
But like people, morals are very, very like you have really high expectations for morals and values.
Yeah, that's
and
true.
you don't like people to do wrong towards anyone. But then you can also be really difficult to hang out with sometimes.
Yeah, that's
Whoa. Period. Someone
I have
said
a bit
it.
about that on stage. Yeah, it's true.
Yeah. What is it? What are you?
Someone said that finally. I'm a Gemini.
Someone said that finally. Did you just say?
You heard that here first.
I'm a Gemini. I can't remember my other two, but
Such a Gemini thing to say.
yeah.
Geminis are like really social, but most of the serial killers in the world are all Geminis.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you have when you snap, you snap.
Hey. Yeah, I do think that's kind of true. Oh, I'm very like cool and everything's fine and forgiving, and then it's like one step too far and I'm like, I'm out.
Yeah, and
you'll
everyone's like,
actually-
when did that happen?
you'll actually never
But
hear
I
from me
have a
again.
theory, because a lot of people say that Geminis are two-faced, then there's two personalities.
Right.
And I think that we think they're two-faced because they're so good at being social that they give us what we want to hear and what we want to see. And then so when we meet their other face, which is who they really are, we think we can't trust you, when really you must be exhausted.
It is tiring.
Yeah.
I do think that's very true. When people kind of go, oh, the two, you obviously say it to people, and they go like two-faced. And I do always go like, no, I just think there is very much a
Two
presenting
versions.
and a inside.
Yeah.
But I don't think they're wildly opposing.
Yeah.
But I think one is much more, doesn't give a fuck. I'll say what I need to say. Like, I'll hash it out with you. And then there's an inside that's like, you know?
No.
Exactly.
I'm just a sensitive little creature.
I'm on the brink of being able to find out my other ones.
Okay, nice.
Yeah, fine, do that. And I also
You
I
want the
want to talk
pattern.
about the fact that you are like isolating yourself for your artistic practice. I thought that's really cool.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I was gonna put a song out in the end of July, and I just
Okay, Lana Del Rey.
Yeah. Well, first off, then like our girls Remember Monday were like, we're putting a song out on the 25th of July, and then fucking Justin Bieber's album dropped, and I was like, look, the market's diluted.
Yeah, you can.
The market's diluted
Swag
right now.
has just like
Yeah.
taken everyone by storm.
Yeah. And I feel people were going like, what's the visual brand? And I was like, I don't know.
Yeah.
But then also I felt quite a lot of pressure to put it out right
Yeah.
now, because
Yeah.
like, we've got to do that. We've got to open doors while people are interested. Let's put it. And then I just was like, I don't fucking like it anymore.
Yeah.
And like,
Oh, that's the point I was going to make, because
Yeah.
I think you are almost hyper vigilant about how it should look for you, when really artists, what they often forget is that whatever you make lives in a specific point in time. And so as the artist who's created it, you will never relate to it again the same way, because you'll always be moving forward.
No.
And so you need to be able to step back into that place and be like, this is who I was then, and this is
Yeah.
who I can perform to you. But if you try to make it make sense to you in present time, it'll always feel subpar.
right. I think what I've done so far is been like, let's get it out, let's push it out. And then I've really felt that.
Sounds like The Exorcist. Get it out, push it out.
Push it out. Yeah. Also, it's like I'm
just
the
a
team.
song.
There's no like manager going like, put it out. It's just me in the mirror. But
The gun to your head.
exactly.
Yeah.
But I just was like, okay, I need to get this out. And then all of them. The first song I put out, I can look at that and go, that was a moment in time. I respect who she was. It's not me right now. The next two, I'm like, that was rushed. And like, I'm struggling to go like, to look back with like, that was a moment. Because I'm like, I actually pushed and forced that out. And then
Yeah.
it looked like shit. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think I'm trying to find the balance right now between, don't just like live in a castle of ice on the hill and like actually chat with people, and don't just kind of lock yourself away. And then also I do think I need some time sort of like weeping in my room by candlelight.
Yeah, no, true. I think processing and mourning and feeling everything is key. I always find the most interesting person in the room is someone who says, oh, I'm just in the process of writing my novel. Like, I don't give a shit about anyone. I don't care if you're on front row, walking the catwalk. I don't care if you have a blog. I do not care if you like have dropped a music video. I think the coolest person in the room is someone who can stop, go away from society, sit down and write a novel.
I'm going to do the artist way.
It's so good.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, I started doing it, had a breakdown.
Yeah.
And then I came back to earth and was just like, whoa, that was really difficult. And it was like, chapter 9, if you didn't have a breakdown by now, you will. And like, honestly, listen to it. It's really good.
Okay.
I think I did like 9 weeks. And it was during the time where I got invited to create an egg for the London Egg Hunt. It was like this citywide artist egg design thing where they put eggs all over the city, big ones. And I did a dinosaur. And so I made a dinosaur out of clay hatching from the egg. It was an Indominus Rex, if anyone needs to know. And then I made it out of clay in like 5 days. And they were like, how did you do that? And I was like, I kind of been trying to make this my whole life.
Right.
Yeah, but during the process of making it, I was listening to The Artist's Way. And I made myself so vulnerable in it that like I had a breakdown. Like I isolated myself from my friends. My partner was just like, what the hell's going on? Why are you acting so weird? Then I had this massive fault. My inner child was out and he was like terrorizing the town with absolutely no protection.
Right.
And it was just a mess. But like it's been incredible.
That'll be me probably in like November.
Yeah, cute.
I'm guessing.
Yeah,
I think that'll be good. I was like, I need to buy The Artist's Way, and then my girlfriend was like, I think I've got it on the shelf somewhere. She's like, I'm going to go and sit down for a year and write a novel.
Okay, fine.
Which is an icon, but she was like, here it is, and I just was like, oh, it's kismet.
Yeah,
I'm doing The Artist's Way. I'm doing The Artist's Way, guys.
Nice. Sorry, can't make it.
Yeah. So sorry, I'm journaling tonight.
Yeah, I don't need a +1. I'm not coming. I'm doing The Artist's Way. I think listen to it.
Okay,
because
you think so?
It's
more
on
than
Spotify,
read.
so you never need to look for a book in the first place.
Right,
and she just reads to you, and like you can just dip in and out of it, and like at the end of it, she'll tell you all the things to write down and all the questions and stuff. So when you to answer, and you can have a moment to sit and do that. But if not, you're constantly putting it in your brain through osmosis.
That's cool.
The best way to describe The Artist's Way is a 12-step recovery program to your own creativity. And so it repositions what you think you want to do and how you stop that through things like shame, through other people's opinions, through your own friends even, and through your own mental, and creating mental clarity so you know exactly what a good idea is without asking yourself whether it should be done in the first place. Yeah.
And I think that is the problem I'm having right now is kind of going like, I've done, this is the artwork, and people going, oh, and then I'm sort of like, actually, I can't stand here and go, no, I love it, it's brilliant. Or actually your opinion doesn't even matter. Or I'm not even going to show it to people because I don't know if I fuck with it that much. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, totally.
And so then at the moment someone goes like, I'm like, yeah, you're right, it's fucking shit. And it's like, whoa, I just need to have a bit more confidence, understanding of what I actually think is a good idea.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'll let you know.
It'll totally sort you out.
Okay, great.
What are you using The Artist's Way for yet?
I started The Artist's Way, but it was in lockdown.
Oh, okay, I see.
So I loved the journaling.
Yeah.
Because everything was, I was also going through, I think I was processing maybe 2 past heartbreaks and 1 current heartbreak during lockdown as well. So journaling was amazing. But then I was just like, I'm sad again today, LOL.
Yeah. But you can't judge yourself for that.
No.
When I do the free writing, I literally am shocked at how repetitive I am.
Oh,
and then it shows
totally.
how you ruminate on 5 things.
I was ruminating and I was just tossing the same a burger or whatever over and over again. And I was like, I'm going to cook it some more on this side, and then I'm going to cook it some more,
and then you take it off, and then you bring it back.
And then it did really, really help. I really got in touch with my inner child. I bought a huge poster of Britney Spears' Crossroads.
Oh my God, so funny you say that, because when you were talking right now, I was going to say early morning. She wakes up.
I looked around my room, and for some reason, for a long time, my bedroom was very bare. I just didn't really take that much. I kind of was I'd come in here and sleep and then leave. And then during lockdown, obviously, I was, you did everything in there. And I was like, I'm going to really make this. I think that there's a part of it that like is create your altar or like create your like creative space. And like, I didn't have a creative space because it was just me in this bedroom. But I was like, I'm going to really I was like, what do I want to like wake up and look at every day? And I got this huge Crossroads poster, which is still there. And I like literally love it. And
you love waking up
as soon as it actually really did just transform my whole mood and like even the colors of it. Like it's this bright blue and pink and yellow poster. So even if you don't like respond to the film, it's just like nice, like a colorful thing to have on the wall. Anyway, that's what I did.
That's incredible.
And then also then again in lockdown, I really started. That's when I started posting and started. That's when I first started doing
that's
comedy.
When it all began.
But then I did find it where you have to take yourself on artist dates. Yeah. Which is really tough in lockdown.
I found that so hard.
It's like, I guess I'll sit on a bench again.
Yeah.
There's like nothing to... Whereas
what is the artist date?
It's when you might take yourself to like the cinema or the theatre or an exhibition.
Or I started doing yoga classes by myself because I'm quite codependent, so I like to do something with someone.
Right.
Currently, I've paid for credits for my friend to go to the gym with me, so they can't say no because I paid for them.
Nice.
And that's very controlling behavior, but we'll workshop that. But like I feel like going somewhere on my own is really hard. And so I actually... kind of by choice and kind of by fate, and ended up going to the Jurassic World premiere on my own. And it was a moment where I was tapping into that artist date thing where I was like, you wanted this moment.
The ultimate artist date.
You don't need to bring anyone else here.
Yeah.
And like, you can go on that red carpet on your own. You don't need anyone to take a picture of you. Like, you deserve this moment and it should be yours alone. So no one else can be a part of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And sometimes when you because I relate to that a lot. I will want to go and do something, but there's no way that I want to go by myself. And I'm always like, oh, come. And then it's very invaluable when you kind of go like, well, I want to see this show, or I want the experience. And if no one else is that bothered, that's their prerogative, and they don't have to be as interested in it as me. But that shouldn't stop me going. Yeah.
That's true. And then you get two boxes of popcorn as well.
Yeah, perfect.
Right.
I've been doing this at fashion parties and stuff as well. Like now when people send me invites, I never ask for a +1 because if I go on my own, I really want to feel that anxiety of like not knowing who's going to be there. And I really want to remind myself of who I am before I go in the room. And then if I don't have anything to say to anyone, take an interest in like what's on show and like what's been like spoken about, like read the blurb or like talk to the artist who's there, and then whoever I see and who I want to speak to, it's a genuine connection rather than being there with your friend and then kind of deciding to say hi to people or not, or being like CBA, let's go. Like I want to be there and be like, I'm going to be there for 2 hours and whoever I speak to is a genuine connection. And it's completely changed my relationship to those events because we have become pawns. Like they don't actually care that we're there. Like they literally like flood out the invites. Some of us get them, some of us don't. Most of the people who should be in that room are not. And it does my head in as a cultural curator. Like sometimes I'll go to something and be like, what do you mean South Asian Heritage Month? Everyone here is like Latina X. Like what is going on? Right. And like sometimes it just doesn't make sense and the PR kids are not doing the right things. But then sometimes when I go somewhere, I really want to respect it and have the synergy of taking on board what they're showing me and giving them whatever I can in terms of content or presence.
That is so brave.
Yeah,
going
that's my
to an event by yourself.
evolution, I think.
What the hell?
Well, I tap into me being younger because like oh my God, I'm going to give you a deep and meaningful now. Basically, I didn't know anyone in fashion, art or culture. So like I said, when I was younger, I used to go into art bookshops and open up fashion magazines and take pictures of all the credits. And I'd find those people on Twitter and then I'd find out where they were going, because during that time in like 2010 people posted the invites. So they'd take a picture and be like, got invited to this, or like going to this party tonight. Like they were all showboating that way. Now we go and then we do a real post event. But before they'd be like, going to this tonight. And so I would find them, zoom in, figure out where they were, and then I'd go. And even sometimes I would basically like stand outside and not be on the guest list, but I'd just pick up an empty like beer bottle and be like, I'm already on the list. And then I'd walk in. Yeah. And like, that's how excited I was to be a part of London's culture scene. Yeah. And then when I met people, I did something weird, which was like not actually say hi to them the first time. I'd let them see me. And then when I saw them at another event, I'd say hi because then they would have seen me around, which sounds a bit psycho, but like I'm kind of here for it. It's giving you. And then I haven't even seen that. I would then talk to them, but know about their work. I would have done the research. I would have seen their editorial spreads. I would have known what they're working on. This is how I met like cool people who've like styled Gaga and Rihanna and like who've done stuff for McQueen. And because I cared about their work, and when I met them, I actually had a genuine connection.
Yeah.
And even though I really constructed the whole entire setup, but I got them to meet me on a level that they would see me as an equal.
Yeah. I mean, it's quite, as you say, it's a bit quite constructed. However, it gave you a layer of education about them. It gave you something to connect on, something to communicate with.
And then I drink their bathwater.
And you can like, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And you can almost
natural
like,
next step.
You can like, pinpoint, I really want to talk to this person because I love their art.
Yeah, of course. And I mean, when I saw Saltburn, I was like, wow, this is way too close to home. But like, that's how people of color and queer people have to enter rooms. I never get invited to the front door. I don't even get invited through a window. I have to sneak in through some crack in the wall. And then when I get in there, I need to know what the fuck I'm talking about.
Right.
And if I don't, I have like literally minutes to make impressions. And when I make those impressions, they have to be genuine. I'm not a fan. I'm not your intern. I do not want to work for you. I want to work with you. And I want to be on the same level as you. And if you don't see that now, you'll see it in 5 or 10 years.
I think we've coming to the end. I'm wondering if before we do end, I can tell you guys my 3 star signs.
Oh my God, yeah.
I'm a Gemini, which is my sun.
Your moon?
My moon, Sagittarius.
Oh, wow, okay.
And then ascendant, Virgo.
Okay. Oh my God, this makes so much sense as to why you're having an issue about disappearing. So being a Gemini, it means you want to be social and you want to be liked by everyone and you want anything you do to be seen as a part of the room.
Right.
Being a Virgo ascendant means that internally you're actually very hypercritical. So everything needs to be perfect. It needs to be the right time. You want to measure twice, cut once. You want everyone to love it. You don't want anyone to find critique on it. But the biggest critic you have is yourself.
Right.
And so it'll never be good enough for you. So how is it ever going to be good enough for anyone else?
Right.
And so your moon sign is Sagittarius, which means you're cool, you're lovable, you're creative. But if anything goes wrong, you literally want to just drop it and disappear.
Whoa.
And so Sagittarius are known to be that. Like they cannot be told that like something's not good enough or they're not that they need to go away and work on something. They would just drop it and then rather have an argument with you.
Right.
And so I would say for you, don't ask people what they think of your work during a full moon.
Okay.
And I don't think you should work on yourself during a full moon. I think when there is no moon in the sky, so right now would be a really good time to meet someone like me.
Right.
Who tells you to work on your stuff and not second guess yourself now.
Okay.
Yeah, but as the full moon comes, if you think about your work, you're going to be too critical and you're going to drop it quicker than you know.
Okay. So don't start The Artist's Way on a full moon.
Yeah. I would start on a new moon. I think you should start today, right now. Okay. I love that. I will. Yeah. I'll go home and start it. The Dochi method. Yeah. Yeah. I do think I'm going to like video diary it up. I think I've got to fake it to make it. Yeah, no, be the person you want to be tomorrow by dressing like that job today. Yeah, that's... So I don't know why you're dressing like you're going to Burger King, but... I truly am. Your signs are amazing as well. Like you're such a bottle rocket, like stuck in a glass jar. Uh-huh. Yeah. What was it was Aquarius, Aries, Leo. Leo, yeah. Yeah. So your Leo moon is going to make you so creative, and on a full moon, as the moon rises and becomes bigger in the sky, you'll want to be more and more creative and be in the center of attention more. Uh-huh. And you'll be able to connect with people and you'll feel like people hear you more. So right now you're probably... At a full moon. Yeah. And so right now there's no moon in the sky. Mm-hmm. So you'll probably feel like you're a bit more of a isolated intellect and you just want to like sort of disappear, hang out with yourself, but something will always draw you out and have events and have shows and everything that you're doing during full moons. Yeah. Because you'll find yourself more successful. Ooh. Aries though, being your ascendant, means that you kind of think you're right all the time. Okay. And if anyone like the little side eye there, that camera catch that. We'll talk about this at home. Yeah. And Aries are like natural aggressors. Like if you get angry, like all hell will break loose, and you don't want to be told no. You don't want to be told that like you need to wait. You don't want to be told it's not going to happen. So like managing that is going to be your ego work.
Fine.
Yeah. So
Okay.
like being able to know that like it doesn't have to go to plan and it doesn't have to be perfect and other people mean well when it comes to critiquing you.
Yeah.
Like, but that all happens internally.
I'm just
Looking at me.
I recently got this tattoo of this like Hare Krishna thing on my forehead, and ever since then I feel weird, wildly connected.
Yeah.
I don't know what's happening.
You just saw right into the very centers of both
I know.
of us.
I literally have just caused a massive family
No,
issue.
no,
never.
I'm joking.
it needed to happen.
You're like,
It
we
needed to
cannot
happen,
cannot
yeah.
speak during full moons.
Yes, no full moons.
Period.
This is the last episode of
Actually, I
Stay
think you get
Hydrated.
along. You probably get along quite well during full moons. Just don't critique her at all.
Okay, fine.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Okay. On that note, this has been a delight. Thank you so much for being here. You're an
Yeah.
absolute angel. And let's keep having parties. Let's keep bringing people together.
Yeah, of course,
Let's
of
find
course.
community.
I'm so grateful to be here. I'm so proud of both of you. I don't know if I've hydrated you, but hopefully I've quenched your thirst.
You definitely have. Thank you so much for being here, everybody. We'll see you next time.
See you next time.
Bye.
Just before bed is good for your head. What you gonna do? Stay hydrated. Stay